Hey everyone, I wanted to post a quick video giving you a little bit further guidance on the Atlantis assignment. Just because I find sometimes students don't really dig very deeply into this and come up with answers that really aren't adequate. Okay. When I say that I want you to think about these three aspects, right, of evidence that we look for as archaeologists, a lot of times students will say things like, I would look for evidence of homes, or I would look for evidence of a civilization. Yes, but that's not evidence of Atlantis, right? I could be excavating in ancient Peru and I'm going to find homes and I'm going to find evidence of, civilization, right? I'm asking you specifically, since these people are claiming, oh, I found Atlantis. Okay, what makes it Atlantis and not something else, right? What is the specific examples that you would find to demonstrate that this was Atlantis, right? So take what you know about these people and talk about that, right? What specific ecofacts, artifacts, sites, would you find given what you know about them? On the one hand, right, we talked about the fact that they are, you know, seafaring, that they supposedly conquered Athens at one time, that they did all of these different things, right? That they traded all over the world, that they were really rich, that they had a huge, absolutely huge military, right? That they had massive fleets of ships. They had massive armies of chariot riders and things like that, right? What would you find with that? What kind of infrastructure will you need with that, right? You find a chariot, 1,000 civilizations had a chariot. That doesn't make it Atlantis, right? What are you going to look for, right? What's going to be there, okay? To give you some examples, right? An easy one. I just said that they had this massive fleet. Boats don't exist in isolation. You have a fleet of thousands of ships. That means that you're going to have wharfs for them to dock at. You're going to have shipyards for them to be built at. You're going to have evidence of massive deforestation somewhere that all these boats were, the wood's got to come from someplace. You've got to have dry docks for the repairs. You've got to have quarters on land for these men that are going to be, working on these boats. You've got to have, storehouses for the equipment. You're going to find evidence of sails, of tackle, of barrels. You got to have fresh water when you're out on the ocean, right? All of these different things are just one example. That's just that, right? Um, so what kind of things are you going to look for in terms of that, right? What would you look for knowing what you know about these people, given what Plato told us, right? I also asked about what other kinds of evidence. So think about what you can about this supposed culture that didn't exist, but many people claim and believe in, right? What else would you see when we find evidence of other societies? We are able to say that this belongs to them for specific reasons. To give you one, I mentioned that there's iconography. To take an example, in the Aztec origin story, the Nahuatl speaking peoples that made the Aztec Empire, one of their claims is that they had a vision that they would know their new homeland because there would be an eagle with a snake in its mouth on top of a cactus. If you look at the flag of Mexico today, that's on there. That iconography about their origin story is actually there, right? So, given what you know about Atlantis, what might you find? What kind of iconography might you see? Here in the United States, look at our first flag. We started with 13 colonies and then 13 states, and our first flag has 13 stars on it, right? Even our flag today, what do you see? We have 50 states, we have 50 stars, we still have that 13 number represented by the number of bars that we have, right? That's just flagged as an example. Many of you are from other countries that you can think of or have traveled to those places. But that's flags. What about seals? What about emblems? What about, all of these kinds of things? Are you going to see that would indicate what you know about the history, the mythology, the actions of Atlantis, right? Um, to give you another example, just today, right? The United States has the largest military in the history of the world. If you were to excavate in America, it's probably not surprising that you would find lots of military bases, lots of military installations. That you would find planes, you'd find jets, you'd find armories, right? You'd also find, just if you were at somebody's house in America, there's a good chance that you would find emblems. Some of you are veterans, right? And many veterans have shirts and hats that say, veteran of this war, veteran of that war, maybe medals or things like that. You'll find that kind of stuff over and over again. Why I'm having you do this is because I want you to understand that in all of this, that's what we don't find. That's why I want you to give me specifics. Specifically, what would we be able to see? Not just homes. Everybody had homes. Like, oh, we'd see temples. Yeah, every society had temples, right? That's not good enough. If you're gonna claim, as ancient aliens and others do, that Atlantis is out there, okay? Sure, show me Atlantis. Show me that it's not Roman. Show me that it's not Ottoman or Persian, right? Show me that it's not Incan or Mayan, right? Show me that it's not Hopewell or Olmec or whatever. Show me that it actually belongs to this culture and is not just generic evidence that humans existed. You know, a specific claim requires specific results. So, in your assignment, I want you to really dig into that whole lecture and that PowerPoint and say, like, this is what we know from Plato. This is the claim, right? So what would we find? How old would it be, right? They're going to leave evidence. Again, we have evidence of Australopithecines 3, 4 million years ago. We have evidence of all these societies. So you can't say, like, well, there probably wouldn't be any eco facts. There probably wouldn't be any evidence. Yes, there would. There absolutely would be. There'd be tons, right? If we can construct a reasonable evolutionary tree for humans over the last millions of years, and that's just us. We don't even have to get into dinosaurs, which were 100 million years ago. If that evidence still exists and we can build a reasonable picture, then we absolutely could for a society that had a global reach just 10,000 years ago or however long they want to claim it was. Okay. So I hope that helps clarify this assignment a little bit, and I look forward to reading them.